Hello. A lovely bit of rain. I wasn't intending to make a film this evening, but it's been raining all day, which is really exciting because the ground has been so dry. There are big cracks appearing in it. It hasn't rained properly for about a month. It's Friday, the 7th of June, and it's about 10 to 9 in the evening. As I said, I've been inside all day, catching up with computery things. It's been a good excuse actually because it's been raining so heavily. It's a good time to do it. And it's just so atmospheric outside that I just wanted to take you on a little tour of the garden, which I last did in the winter time, I believe, and just show you what's growing for a few minutes. Although knowing me, it'll probably turn into 20 minutes, but let's have a little walk around. There may be the sound of rain on the microphone because I'm only using my cheap pocket camera, but if there is, then I won't use it. Okay, here we go. Speaking from behind the camera again. I won't show you everything because there's just too much. This is Humphrey the Comfrey. Hello. The bumblebees are still really enjoying him. They seem to be able to fly even when it's raining really heavily. The duckies are out in full force on slug patrol. They love the rain, and so do the slugs, so it's very convenient. Not for the slugs. The honeybees have just gone away for the night. They were very strong today though. The intense sound of humming, even though it was raining. Most relaxing. Oh, a few cherries on the cherry tree. These are sweet cherries. There are 4 kinds of cherry tree here. 2 of them are sweet. June really is the month of berries, well, June and July. But I'm going to try and beat the birds to the berries this year and get them all before the birds do. Well, some of them anyway. White grapes are doing well. Well, they're not really, but they're alive. Tree spinach. This is the first year this Katie apple tree has produced apples. I'm looking forward to trying them, or making some cider if there are enough. I'm resisting showing you every plant because there's just too much, but Chinese pepper. This is one of the very few trees I've had to replace since starting the project, because I didn't know it at the time, but there's a clay seam running down the middle of the field here. And 3 or 4 trees I planted straight into the clay in my ignorance, thinking they'd be fine 5 years ago. And they're the only trees that have not survived so far. But I've moved them slightly now, well, new trees, and I've utilised this clay seam to dig a series of ponds. This pond here is one the ducks are really enjoying. I have other ponds that I save for wildlife that are netted off from the ducks so that they can't eat the frog spawn like caviar, which I realise that ducks do. And that pond is fed by rain, but also by runoff water from the shower. So I've got to make sure I only use duck-friendly shampoo so it doesn't hurt their eyes. I use a lot of soapwort actually, which I have growing that we'll come to, and mix it with apple cider vinegar and rosemary and the like. Alright duckies, nearly bedtime. Yeah, same for me too. This is a good place to see the structure of the forest garden from here. It has a band of meadow around the outside of it. It's about 1 acre of wildflower meadow. But you can just about see here the perennial vegetable beds in the centre, where they're well, there aren't at the moment, there will be about 70 different kinds of vegetable growing, all symbiotically companion planted, about 40 kinds of which are in the greenhouse at the moment as little seedlings. Oh, these bees are doing ever so well. I need to put a sign above that saying very active bees. But they too have gone to bed because it's quite late and quite cold now. And why aren't I wearing a coat? Because I want to feel the rain on my skin, that's why. Red grapevine. Made a gallon of wine from that last year. Again, need to beat the birds to the grapes. Runner beans. I'm treating the runner beans as perennials. I mean, they are perennial, they're just not very hardy. So I'm going to cover them up with straw in the autumn time, nice and deep, about 6 inches deep, and then uncover them in the spring and hope that they will spring to life again. Some alfalfa and wild perennial Canadian lupins. Thank you, Bryony, they're doing very well. Well, this one is that you gave me. Oh, that's a nice shot. Lupin and duckies. Those two were quite heavily mated, so they form their own little clan and stay away from the drakes till very late at night. They wait till the drakes go to bed and then they run in behind them. That's a female kiwi growing on the fence. This is the male kiwi growing up the lime tree. Lovely. Some bees that were in somebody's compost bin in the village, a swarm. I collected them on Tuesday night and put them in here because they couldn't really stay in his compost. And I can hear them humming inside, but they're not particularly strong. So I may have to feed them something tomorrow. Probably some honey from a couple of years ago that I collected. I don't collect very much honey because, well, it's for the bees, isn't it? Just a little bit now and then. Thornless Blackberry, well, that's doing ever so well. It's only a couple of years old and that's going to bounce all over this patch. Walnut tree. Bladder nut. Alright duckies, I'm just showing people the Adam's flannel growing here. This is a beautiful one. This is the andrex of the plant world. Lovely big, soft, absorbent leaves that I've not actually used instead of toilet paper yet, but I will give it a go. It has 44 common names, Adam's flannel, depending where you come from in the country or the world. Common mullein is its main name, or Verbascum thapsus. Thapsus is its Latin name. The oak hedge doing well, interplanted with various raspberry canes. And in fact there are 42 different kinds of berries growing in the hedge around the outside of this hectare plot. If you watched the video I made called Food for Roast Pie, you'll see loads of them listed in a song all at once. The willow arch, not quite an arch yet. These are all different kinds of willow, they're all cuttings. Again, thank you Bryony, they came from your hedge when I was cutting it. You can see now the straw I mulched with in the winter time is rotting down quite nicely, and I've planted through the straw and the cardboard into the ground underneath so as not to disturb it. And I have added quite a bit of horse manure to get things going for the plants that are really leafy and need lots of nitrogen. I'm getting tired now. Everything's so small at the moment. I mean, I would love to have bought 30 Babington's leeks and planted them all over the plot to get it going, but I could only afford 6 seeds. So there they are, just there. Perennial leeks. And this old beer casket with the bottom cut off is making a very good cloche to protect this lone Babington's leek from the ducks and collect rain as well. The Welsh Onions I planted last year are doing particularly well there. Look at these perennial onions. They're doing so well I keep putting cutaways of them in my videos. Like, look, I've grown one perennial vegetable. No, there are quite a few more than that. There are some wild rocket, some cornflowers growing there. This whole area I wasn't sure what to do with. I mean, I am sure what to do with it eventually, plant shade-loving vegetables, but I can't plant those until the mulberries and the sweet chestnut trees have grown big enough to create shade. So if in doubt what to do with land, then plant pumpkins. They ramble over the ground, they suppress weeds, they look quite nice, and you get some pumpkins sometimes. They're quite small at the moment. I haven't done well with seeds this year, apart from pumpkins, when I had a 100% success rate with germination. What's going on here? More pumpkins. That's the black mulberry tree. Quite a few annual sunflowers there. I do have some perennial ones growing in the greenhouse, but they're not quite ready yet. Every garden should have some sunflowers. They don't take up much space. Well, not horizontally anyway, they do vertically. This is interesting. Some white dead nettles and Turkish rocket growing together. Nice. There's some symbiotic relationship between the two, but I forget what it is at the moment. Another Elaeagnus, the ultimate multi-purpose shrub. I keep talking about it at the talks that I do and in all my videos. Autumn olive it's sometimes called. You get berries in the autumn, although that one got confused and had berries in the springtime as well. It's a great nitrogen fixer, boosting all the plants around it. It's good for wildlife habitat, it's a good windbreak, it's a good hedge. You can use it for firewood, I suppose. It's evergreen, and you can grow things up through it. Oh, speaking of which, I'm just going to run over here, because I've got cinnamon vine is the name I know it by, and I need to check how it's doing, because I'm growing it up the south side of this Elaeagnus over here. What label does it say? Oh, Dr. Yam. That's another name for it. Where has it gone? Ah, yes, I used a toilet roll to protect it. I planted it as a seed. There. It's supposed to have sort of tubers that grow off it in late summer that you can eat like potatoes. Although interestingly enough, I have another vine that we'll come to called Mashua. That is, again, actually called air potato because it has potato-like tubers growing from the vine, and then it has more tubers at the roots that you can dig up. In the autumn times you get a double crop from it. That's a bit of area of meadow to be munched by the ponies when they come up. Now I've planted these things straight in the grass because they're so thuggish that I didn't need to mulch, they'll just take over. There are different kinds of periwinkles here, major and minor, and there's soapwort as well, which I mentioned just now. You can use the roots to make soap, or the leaves. The roots are more potent. You can pick a leaf and rub it in warm water, it makes a nice lather. Lather, lather, lather. Bowls mint. That's all there is so far, but it will be everywhere over this patch in a couple of years. Did I say that this forest garden's only 5 years old? I didn't, but maybe I can make that the title of the video. A 5-year-old forest garden in June. Well, actually, some of the trees are 6 now, but is it 6 years old? 5 or 6, I can't remember. There's apple mint. This is going to be the shady north end of the forest garden, where all the trees will be, well, they are spaced out because they're going to grow very big, and that's the south end up there. And you can see the Mendip Hills, the dark north side of the Mendip Hills. That's why it's dark here already, because there's an hour less sun than that sunny side in Westbury where all the strawberries grow. But all the things at this end tolerate or like shade. But the reason the apple mint is growing here particularly is because the shepherd's hut has a problem with cluster flies. So that's to deter them. One of many plants I'll plant here to deter the cluster flies from overwintering in here. This is nearly finished. There's still a little bit of work to do. The electric's not switched on, so it's dark. But, I'm still not quite sure what to do with this yet. I'd like it as a place where people can come and pay to have a forest garden experience. Sort of pick and cook your own food and that sort of thing. Meadowy area. How long is this video so far? It's probably about 15 or 16 minutes. Sweet chestnut. Belle épine. That's the male sweet chestnuts, and I have 3 female marigoules that he will pollinate. I'll put a big blanket underneath those sweet chestnuts in the autumn when they're a bit bigger, and then catch the sweet chestnuts and grind them to make flour. I did get some sweet chestnuts last year, but only about 5 or 6. This is a mysterious acidic corner down this end. I mean, being on the Mendip Hills, they're mostly limestone and the soil's quite alkaline around here, but this is a weird acidic corner where all kinds of different things are growing. Some that are growing naturally and some that I'm encouraging. Knapweed's doing quite well. The bird's foot trefoil, all kinds of things. Thornless hawthorns there. Bay tree. I really feel like a bay leaf. Oh, that flavour is intense. I just chew on the leaves and then spit them out because the insides of the leaves can lacerate your insides if you swallow them, if you don't cook them. Oh, that's really, really powerful, that. That's quite a soporific effect. This is Gaultheria Shallon. Has lovely tropical tasting berries. It's a very good ground cover for acidic soil. Well, you might be pleased to hear I've only got a couple of minutes of battery left because the camera's not been charged since I made that rhubarb film a month ago, and it's about to run out. More sweet chestnuts. Oh, loads of different kinds of berries along there. Chokeberries, red currants. Well, I didn't notice that. That is a flower spike. This is New Zealand Flax that I use to tie up beans and things to make string. I must be quite happy because it's flowered, look, or is flowering. Wow. And those leaves are so strong, the fibres, that when I'm mowing the paths, if I go too close with the mower and a leaf gets stuck in the blade, it just stops it dead. So I try not to do that for the plant's sake and for the mowers. All kinds of things, oaks and red currants and spindles, spindly spindles. What's going on over here? Oh, willows. The rainwater comes down here, so the willows are to stop the ground getting too swampy, and because they thrive where the ground is swampy, and they're for different things, for biomass, for burning and for basketry and the likes. Oh, hello fig. Still quite small. You've been there for 3 years, haven't grown, but at least you're alive. Globe artichokes. Jerusalem artichoke. Strawberry tree. It's a lovely one. Sorry if it's making you feel a bit dizzy. I'm just sort of rushing around doing close-ups on things without taking the time to pan the camera around. Rosa Rugosa. I love this. This is the mother Rosa Rugosa. I've taken 12 cuttings from her. She's flowering beautifully, although the flowers are the other side. I don't really want to walk through the meadow grass, but I really want to see those flowers. Oh, she was earlier anyway. Maybe they close up when it gets dark. Maybe it's not the best time of day to do this because lots of the other flowers are closing up as well. I can see over there. Peronias, chokeberries. I'm quite fond of these. Many people don't like them. They taste really sweet and intense for the first 3 seconds and then make your mouth as dry as a cranberry. I've got used to them now, but the birds like them anyway. Japanese bitter orange. One of the few citrus fruits that grows outside in a UK climate. Very spiky. Let's not look at that caravan. Bit of a dive. What's here? Oh yeah, look at this. All kinds of flowers. This is the south end and there's far more diversity here than that dark north end. Lovely foxgloves. I didn't plant them there, but I have a rule that if I find foxgloves growing, I just leave them. Although I'm a bit concerned because this is supposed to be my beetroot patch and it's mostly foxgloves. So next year it'll be my foxglove patch. My great-grandfather's shallots are doing well. I've interplanted them with dill because, well, I like dill. Really, a really good preservative for pickling things, which is where that lovely pickling flavour comes from. Lovely. It's also a very good companion plant for onions and garlic over there. Ooh. Hello juniper. Hello Mahonia. Yes, they're ready again. Oh, no they're not. Oh, look at those gorgeous foxgloves. Lots of mallow here as well, mallow growing. There are quite a few confectionery items growing. There's a lemonade bush, which I didn't show you, called lemon sumac, where you pick the leaves and you can make a lemonade type drink. And there are some licorice bushes growing. And there's marshmallow as well. I just need to find some burdock to go with my dandelion, and then I can have dandelion and burdock. Let's go into the greenhouse. Oh, it's quite dark in here now. It's lovely in the sunlight. It's still quite warm though. The peaches are coming on. Sweet peas are lovely, if a little dark. Yeah, these are all the different seeds. They're plants now, I've got to plant them out. Hello avocado. I saw a video on YouTube about how to grow pineapples from cutting the top off and planting them, so that's what that's about. That was a week ago and it's going green rather than brown now, so it must be working a little. So many strawberries in here, strawberries and lemons. Ooh, it's going to be a good year for wine. These are the perennial sunflowers I was talking about with the edible roots. Come back later in the year and see how they're doing. Bye greenhouse. See you in the morning. And as for you, nest of voles, stay off my seeds. I like you really. Apart from the leeks, there are lots of companion plants just here, like aubergines and peppers and peas, all growing together, helping each other out. Some solitary peas. Oh, fennel. Oh, I love this. Love fennel. Thank you, fennel. Every time I get given a plant by someone and I'm not sure where to put it, or it's not in the forest garden plan, I just stick it in this bed just here. And over the years, I don't weed it or anything, it's working really well. It's looking absolutely delightful. Look at these. Nepeta, and these strange cornflower things, and these moon daisies. All kinds of things in there. This bit looks a bit more garden-like with the different beds. Oh, it's a shame the light's gone now. It was lovely earlier. Well, it's still lovely now, but the camera doesn't pick up things quite so well. Philadelphus, mock orange. Oh, when the flowers are open, there's no scent like them. Except perhaps apricot blossom. That's just divinely sweet and sickly. This is the mashua, if you can still see it. The air potato. See, it's got nasturtium-like leaves, and it's growing up this Eleagnus. What's going on here? All kinds of wild tomatoes interplanted with parsley, sweet potatoes, rainbow carrots. I bought those seeds, well, for the reason I buy lots of seeds, because I like the look on the packet. The rainbow carrots look really, really delicious. And actually only one has germinated. That always happens. Ooh, perennial kale. Yum 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 yum. This is the little herb nursery. Again, foxgloves, not a herb as such, but they were growing there, so I didn't disturb them. There are all kinds of things here. I'm growing them in one place, and then as they do really well, then I transplant part of them to other places where they can do well in the forest garden. Although the chamomile is somewhat taking over. It's gone berserk. In fact, I'll need a little bit of that in a minute for my bedtime drink. Yeah, also the rhubarb's gone berserk. The perennial spinach and strawberries, again, good companion plants. Well, actually, strawberries are good companions with everything. They're doing quite well. Good old Tuna sinensis. I should have cut that down in the winter time, but I didn't, and now it's about 12 feet tall, so I can't reach its lovely smoky leaves to make my vegetable stock. The battery really is going to run out now, so... Oh no, broccoli! Just annual broccoli, but, you know, had to show you. Oops. Well, thank you. This 10-minute video has become half an hour. If you got this far, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've seen something you like, and if not, I hope you enjoyed your nap. Must be about... Ugh, can't speak anymore. Must be about 9:30 now. See you soon. Bye! Go on, ducks. Go on, duckies. Bedtime. Come on, away you go. Come on. I can see that. There we go. That's it. In you go. In you go. Good girls. Oh, and you, drakes. Yeah, you have to go to bed too. Come on, drakes. You know the way. Come on. Come on. Come on, grassbeaks. No, not you. And you go back in as well. You go in, and you go in. Come on. Come on, Draco. In you go. Come on. Good boy. There you go.